Welcome back to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Odell Harmon Jr. You can find me at Odell Harmon Jr. on all your favorite social medias, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, kind of. Point is, you can find me there.
And I'm the other host, Jared Fradette. You can find me at Tune Velo at all the same places. So our episode for you today will consist of 3 topics. We'll be discussing The Matrix. I know, it seems dated. Or is it?
Oh, we'll be discussing a new bill presented by Josh Hawley, the senator of Missouri, that's going to make loot boxes in games illegal. I don't know how that would work exactly, but we'll talk about it.
But first and foremost, we're talking about Pokemon, not Detective Pikachu. We're going to be talking about science in a science paper. Yeah. So...
Excuse me, Jared. I believe it's called a science journal.
A science journal. Yes, you're correct. So, for those of you who don't know, IRL, I am a scientist, and we have things occasionally where we get together and hold journal clubs. It's like a book club where somebody explains to you a book that the rest of the group didn't read. So, from the Journal of Nature and Human Behavior, which is a high-impact journal, it means it's big, it's really good, coming out of Stanford University, is a group has found that extensive childhood experience with Pokemon suggests eccentricities drives organization of the visual cortex. So,
in layman's
terms, if you played Pokemon between the ages of 5 and 8,
woohoo!
Yeah, you have set up your visual cortex, right, where you process vision, is wired differently than everybody else. It has a whole different region that detects specifically Pokemon.
So, if I'm understanding this correctly, they have discovered a legit, literal Pokemon region of the brain.
Okay. So they in the paper they clarify, no, they do not want to call it a Pokemon region. Right. Okay. So why did they do this study? Now this will answer your question about this. So they did the study because across all people, right, the vision center of your brain is set up near identical, basically identical. And, we scan people, we look at it, we do tests, and everybody's process is the same way.
Okay.
Right? Now, Odell, is this like biology, right? To be humans, we just have to have our visual cortex designed this way? Or did we learn it from looking at things as babies?
I'm going to go with looking at things as babies.
Well, how can you prove that?
I cannot.
Right? Because, we've all grown up looking at the same things, right? We all grew up looking at mom and dad and toys and places, and these are all the same things. And so, if you want to try and develop something new and see if it actually has an impact, well, beyond the kind of ethical concerns of, tricking children into learning something, that kind of has implications, and then waiting, 20 years for them to grow up to test them to see if it actually developed, that just takes too much time. However, Pokemon did the experiment for them already. Right? It's okay, we all saw literally the same thing at the same resolution.
Around the same
age, at the same distance, on the same platform. There you go. That's the experiment. So now they get to analyze us and see what we've done. And sure enough, every single person who did this, when compared to people who hadn't done this, right? So people who have taken up Pokemon Go recently, they don't have the same region of the brain light up.
Oh man, you're really missing out. Again, I've said this before. If you play Pokemon Go and enjoy it, actually pick up a core game. You'll be surprised or horribly disappointed.
Yes,
one of the two.
So, but people who had this region of the brain developed this way, it responds specifically to Pokemon, and only Pokemon. A little overlap with faces, but they're not sure if that's because something related to Pokemon, or because Pokemon have faces. Right? Okay, so a little bit more elaboration, right? So our visual cortex is process is it a face based on curvatures? Is it a big open place? Is it a word? Where were you focusing when you were doing it? All this is kind of logged, and it helps us quickly shunt information into different regions. So, for example, if you're processing things kind of close, kind of small, and slightly curved, your brain goes, face. It's a face, right? If it's processing something that's moving real quick and small and at a distance, animal. If it's processing a ton of stuff peripherally and very big, you're outside, right? But Pokemon, even though Pokédex and Nintendo list like how big they are, there are no real Pokemon. Oh, now there are, right? AR.
There's no Pokemon in the real world to actually
perceive.
Yeah.
So we've all like had to make up a perception in our mind, and we're all focusing right here on it. Yeah, and it's not quite a face, and how it moves isn't quite animal-like. So it's truly something unique here.
It's just static.
Yes. So other questions people might have, right, that the paper also answers is, well, maybe this is just the effects of gaming, right? Maybe this is like lighting up gaming stuff. No. So they took original scenes like Lavender Town, Pallet Town, and the bike trail from Red and Blue, and just showed these images to people. It lit up the region of the brain for outside and places and buildings. Yeah, they took people's faces and made them 8-bit and small. It went, nope, that's a face. It showed them a Clefairy, and it went Pokemon.
That's a Pokemon.
Yeah, and so they keep doing it too. So likewise too, if they show them newer Pokemon, it lights up as Pokemon.
So our visual cortex developed a new category in our brains to recognize this thing is probably a Pokemon.
Yes. So, of course, we're talking about Pokemon, but you can apply this probably to anything that's new coming out too, right? Like, people are always like, can you imagine babies know how to use tablets? I can't figure out what it's telling me. Well, it's been set up, right? They can recognize it. They've learned. Because the brain's amazing.
So does this make us better than the average bear? Or beware?
Teddy Ursa? No, we're just naming. Ursa, okay. No, right. This isn't anything new. This hasn't taken up more brain space. It's not, right, because I've seen some comments online like, oh great, you've wasted space learning that. That's not.
First of all, you can't waste space in your brain.
Right.
Like the brain can infinitely learn whatever it wants.
Even if so, it's like, learning my coworkers' birthdays, memorizing Pokemon.
I got my priorities straight.
Right. I made the right call in life. Let's see. Some other fun things. Okay, so specifically some of the categories of things that they are also showing us. I wasn't part of the study. Showing people were, and I'll put it the figure, is they had people try and discern between, is it a face, an animal, a cartoon, a body, a word, a car, a corridor, or Pokemon.
Corridor, huh? That's oddly specific.
Right, because it's like, it's one of those things, again, like, even if you see a tiny picture of it, your brain perceives it must be a large area. Right? There's a lot of fun stuff where it's like, it shows people who are experienced versus people who have not seen it.
And before you naysayers start your naysaying, this is in a scientific journal. We may have dumbed it down for you, but Jared is literally flipping through pages and pages and pages of research.
Right.
So we'll link to it. So if you want to know for yourself, the facts are there. You can read the research and be amazed. And like we were saying, it doesn't necessarily make you smarter or that you're better at recognizing things. It just means your brain has literally created a new category things called Pokemon. Pokemon's now a category that your brain's like, when you recognize Pokemon, only this part of the brain lights up. It's basically like, yes, you can visualize this as a Pokemon. And that's cool. That's really cool, actually.
It really is. Let's see. I guess I'll just go and read the closing statement from their discussions.
All right.
Okay. So, overall, our study underscores the utility of developmental research, showing that the visual experience beginning in childhood results in functional brain changes that are qualitatively different from plasticity in adulthood. Right, and that's what we're saying. Like you are set up now. You didn't learn it. You just are. You didn't get any aftermarket extensions. You just came with the V8 engine.
I like that.
Future research to examine the amount of visual experience necessary to induce this distinct cortical specialization and determine the extent of the critical window during which will still be further need to be explored.
The thing before we leave this topic that I still think is cool is that some scientists were sitting around, I was like, we've been trying to do this thing. What about Pokemon? Like, I just want to know that pitch. Like, they're
Yeah.
like, I wish I was there in the room for that pitch.
So,
like, and in conclusion, I suggest that for this study we use Pokemon after, like, I'm pretty sure, like, 1,000 fancy science words.
I was going to say, specifically, I forget who the main scientist is on here, but first author is Jesse Gomez out of the Girl Spectre lab. I was listening to this I actually heard this via from NPR. They had him on. He's like, yeah, I played Pokemon as a kid. So this was pretty like, oh yeah, I know these parameters you're talking about. I lived them. There we go. Easy peasy.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. We all live
in a Pokemon world.
I feel like I'm gonna get that like tatted on me at some point.
You should. No, like wait, can you, like I feel like that should be like Knuckles, like
that's too many words.
Like Pokey life.
Oh no, that's lame.
Okay.
Like the phrase is nice.
We all live.
Like they'll be like instead of like in God we trust across the back, it's just like
no, you got to do it with the collarbones. That's where like people get like. Yes.
Well, I don't know, Jared. I
so now a transition to the next statement.
Wait, hold on. Let me do a swipe. For those watching, I probably won't do an actual like I grabbed the screen and pulled it into the transition. We're not there yet.
Okay, so the next thing we're talking about though is I guess more real life nerd things. Like we kind of talk vaguely. I think movies are just pop culture and entertainment, but this is hardcore life.
Yeah.
So, Senator from Missouri, Senator Josh Hawley, whom before we started recording, I was like, Josh, that's too young of a name for a senator. Apparently not. Yeah. He's introduced a bill into the Senate that would ban, so not make illegal for us, the consumers, but would ban from game companies loot boxes, microtransactions, and anything that's play to win.
All right, before we continue this, just for some clarification, like, make it ban the selling of it, or like they could sell the game as long as those things weren't included in its
that.
So in Missouri, is this for the country or just
no
the
for
state?
The country? Submit it to the country.
All right, so let's say assuming this passed, which I'm pretty sure won't. Let's just say it does. The game companies will have to make a special like American version that doesn't include loot boxes.
No, not necessarily, because Belgium has already banned them. Because the same thing that in his bill, Belgium has done is say that this is predatory in nature towards children. So specifically, this is because it's games that children play. Fortnite, for example, right? Candy Crush. Well,
they basically made it gambling for kids, and is what the point they're trying to prove.
Right. Predatory gambling. Although EA released a counter statement saying, hey, plenty of other countries, Australia, Germany, Italy, have already said it's not gambling. And if you want to take Texas's opinion about it, right, we don't have gambling here, but we have game houses where you can win prizes.
Wait, are those legal though?
I thought they were.
I mean, they get shut down a lot.
Well, they get shut down because it ends up, the prize is money.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, ultimately, it's they're trying to say it's not gambling, but it really, we all know it is. When you go in the gas station and they have the slot machine, okay.
Right. I say, but this isn't entirely new for Congress in general, because back in 2017, a different senator, and I forgot their name, but she wrote a letter calling the FTC to investigate microtransactions, because after, if you remember, this was the whole Middle-earth Shadow of War and Star Wars Battle Frontier fiasco.
Oh, man.
Right. So, broadly speaking, apart from think of the children! Besides that, a lot of people just don't like microtransactions.
Okay, the Battlefront thing, I wouldn't say Shadow War so much, but the Battlefront thing was probably the only case of a game where I can say was, I bought the game and I need to legit pay more money to play said game. That was understandable. That was like a legit, like, what did I buy?
Right, I was going to say, I don't know, but that's kind of still the overall sentiment, right? We've all seen the memes. I think it's like a SpongeBob meme, right? It's like, what $50 used to buy, and it's like a burger, and I was like, what does $50 buy you now? 2 buns, and then $20 for the patty, $5 for the pickles, $6 for the mustard, $6 for the mayonnaise, and it's just like, okay, I see. Right, all the exclusive games, like, oh yeah, you get this exclusive character if you buy it from Best Buy, if you buy it from Target, and you have to like buy all those and then dump the codes together into one game. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like most games though with microtransactions are kind of like mobile games. You could just play the game at a regular pace and just get this naturally, or you can just say screw it all and just get it all now. But I will say we give a lot of crap to EA and other games, but it's really the mobile games are king at this. They make literally millions of dollars and they're all free.
Well, I mean, that's true. I know, but I'm not sure who exactly.
You remember not too long ago, I think like a year or two ago, when Kim Kardashian had like the best-selling mobile game and it was making her like $1 million a day or something like that? You remember that? You don't remember that?
No.
You don't remember that story? Like, yeah, she had like some, like, dress me up, do makeup on like virtual Kim and like your little avatar game, and like it was making like $1 million plus a day.
I did not know that was the game.
Yeah.
Although I'd like to humble brag, explain a brag. I have never, ever, right? Never, ever done a microtransaction on Pokemon Go. I've never bought an app. Like, I've just refused to do it.
I mean, I have... Pokemon Go broke me because it was just like, oh, goddamn, look at this rare Pokemon. Why don't I have Pokeballs?
You just go to the stop and come back.
Jerry, you don't always have a stop by you. You spend stops at work all day. Some of us don't work.
I just walk into work. I'm like spin.
Whoa! I should reinstall Pokemon Go because now I have a new work location. I might actually be on a stop.
There you go.
See, on the gold mine.
See, it's perfect.
I would never know. I haven't been playing for so long. I'm at the point now where like I'll start playing and everything I need to catch is like virtually new.
Woo!
Just grind at EXP.
Pretty much.
I also should start doing that. Side note, remember how like my step meter didn't work on my phone? It now works.
That's a huge plus to Pokemon Go. But again, I question, would this be a microtransaction? Everybody who bought the Pokewalker, right? Like, there's a whole extra.
It's not a microtransaction because it's a peripheral. It's a bonus. So, like by definition, it can't be.
All figurines now are also microtransactions. No, obviously not. Although, on a more serious note, somebody was asking like, so if loot boxes are gambling, what about all card games? Right? You're buying booster packs and you're like, I don't know. It's literally like, who knows? It's a gamble.
Yes, both virtual and IRL. Oh.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Now, I guess the difference might be like the point of the game would be a card game versus like you're withholding and asking for gambling.
Well, by definition, in loot boxes and card games, there's no monetary gain, so by definition it can't be gambling, right?
That is what we're to decide.
I guess that's a lawyer. But then again, I mean, I guess first of all, what is the definition of gambling? I guess we should you know what, I'm gonna look that up.
There we go.
Before we go on,
to gain, I don't know.
All right, Google. According to Google, gambling.
Bonus episode of Geek Jargon. Gambling.
I did not spell gambling.
I got it.
Okay, what is it, Jared? Since I have failed this.
So let's see. Gambling as a verb would be play games of chance for money.
Oh, for money. All right, yep. There we go.
But the looser definition is to take a risky action in hope of a desired result. So, I guess the bill would, right? I mean, that's also like, should I jaywalk now? It's a gamble.
I gamble every day I get out of bed.
Right.
Is it worth it today?
Is it worth it? I guess the bill would then have to lean more heavily on the predatory nature of like children and adolescents. Like as a kid you think $20 like a huge amount, and it is, but
it really is.
But it's not. But it is.
But I always hear parents all the time like, "Oh, little Johnny spent like $1 billion bucks." I'm like, well, the kid has no money to spend to begin with,
right?
And if you're like the parent to just like put your credit card on the. First of all, my kid was like, "Hey, buy this thing for 99 cents with your credit card that's gonna save in this app." No. No.
I would say, well, that was something else EA snapped back with. Was like, there's plenty of parental controls to like stop your kid from doing this. I.e., they're actually a primary feature of a parental control would be parenting.
Did they say that?
They didn't say that. Was me. I said that. Well, I mean, like, not to like, I don't like quoting Family Guy as a source of like high like reference material, but it's just that whole like rant they went on, like, if you don't like your children doing something, maybe don't let them do it.
Turn the TV
off, change the channel.
Oh, yeah, because they're talking about like kids watching Family Guy.
Yeah, it's like, we're not a kid's cartoon. We're a cartoon, but we're not a kid's cartoon.
And if you don't approve of us, that's fine.
Right. Right. We talked about before, like, children who like get their parents to buy them M-rated games, or like parents who took their kids at like midnight to see the Deadpool movie. I'm like, your kid's 8. What are they doing here? But that's one for the books.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies.
Oh, there you go.
Slide that in.
All right. Beat me to it. All right. It's your show now, sir.
Okay. The Matrix. If those longtime listeners may have picked up, I'm kind of a gleeful acolyte of the Matrix trilogy. And so now we're getting a reboot?
Well, I'm also a gleeful acolyte of the first one. The other two,
No, you can't pick and choose your religion, Odell.
Fine, whatever. I guess all of them. It is not, it is getting a continuation or relaunching of the series.
Right, okay.
Rejuvenating, I feel like, would be a more proper, because they're not remaking the first one. They're not remaking the trilogy.
Right.
It's
world building.
Yeah, it hasn't technically been confirmed to be a sequel. The only solid information now is they're making a 4th one.
Right.
Whether that
or 5th one if you want to include the Animatrix.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess 4th
live action
cinematic release.
Right. So, yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned, right, like, we don't have that yet that it's a sequel, because we have 5 other the ones we can explore.
Yes. If you remember from what was the last one called? Not Reloaded, Matrix Revolution?
Yes. That's gonna make me egg on my face if that's not the name of it.
I'm admitting right now, I don't know.
Okay.
Jared confirmed Revolution. Y'all come after him. But he met the architect of the Matrix, who informed Neo that this was the 6th iteration of the Matrix, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the ones before him. So in theory, we could easily explore one of those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can go back to the original Matrix and go to Matrix 2, 3, 4. Right. We can go, maybe Neo flubbed up and now there's a 7th Matrix.
I liked how it ended. I'm gonna say no. It's pretty ended well.
Okay,
so any of the prior iterations would be a better world expansion.
And so
we could even. Oh my god. We could even go back pre-Matrix. Right? Like the War of the Machines. How did we get here? Who built Zion?
We could.
Like, could you imagine like machines like crawling on the earth and they're firing at them, but they're like, it's almost like what was this? The movie with the immortal engines, like the cities on wheels.
Oh, no, it was called Immortal Engines.
There we go. Right.
Like,
so imagine like that, but like all on the outside instead of fuel tanks. These robot like the squids are just have humans strapped to them as like mobile power packs.
Oh, that'd be freaky.
Right. Oh, that'd be good.
Ooh.
That'd be so good.
The Matrix Origins. That's what they would call it. Like, I hate that title, but it's probably
you could just call it
Matrix.
Matrix War of the Machines.
No, you can call it Matrix, not the Matrix. Just
Matrix.
Enter the Matrix.
Oh, I like that. I do like that one. Yeah.
So we're about to start churning the rumor wheel here, but so first thing was that the Wachowski brothers, sisters.
Yes.
Are they referring themselves as the Wachowski sisters now?
I'm not sure if that's like their trademark in the industry now, like the Wayans brothers. I don't know if they've like changed it.
Okay. The Wachowskis.
There we go. Gender neutral.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
They were rumored to be a part of it, like in some like development or something. Now it's been confirmed that they will have no part in it. Which, sadly, that kind of hurts.
I'd say that is a big cause for concern for me.
Yeah, you kind of want to keep maybe some like the original, hopefully some of the original
creative consultants, right?
Yeah, but I feel like
Lawrence Fishburne.
I mean, I feel like Warner Brothers is going to get the right people. From what people are saying, they're trying to get, the right. They're not just trying to profit.
Right. The name that they kept throwing around was the director from John Wick.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, okay, he knows how to work with Neo.
Yeah. Assuming he's going to be in it. They're saying that
probably not.
Probably. But they're saying that Michael B. Jordan is rumored to star in it. That's a very loose rumor churning, but it's already been proven he's an avid anime fan and sci-fi.
Even if we just kind of did like a young Morpheus, is he his young Morpheus story?
Ooh.
Right? We don't need to go all the way back. Like, I would even like that. That'd be exciting. Nice. Can't you see him now wearing like tiny little glasses? Imagine it with me.
Him being bald.
No, not bald yet. He can have hair.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't know. Maybe he is bald. It's just a hair choice.
I mean, yeah, we can. The story of Morpheus rises to claim the fame. So as we all know, Will Smith was supposed to be originally Neo, but he turned the role down and made Wild Wild West. Yeah, we all make decisions in life.
I don't think it's a bad choice. He's clearly still doing well, and I really still joined Wild Wild West. So,
And well, they're like, so they Will Smith ends up being the one, but just one of the prior ones,
right?
That would be such a Matrix thing to do. Yes. And like there'll be so many layers.
We can finally see, like, you can get someone else to play the Oracle too, because she does that from time to time. Just like elaborating.
I really wish she didn't pass away though. She was She was such a great Oracle.
I know, but
so
like the first Doctor. We should do something about this. He's getting real old. Switch. There we go. It's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but so it's really really cool. The Matrix has such a good story with a social commentary and our lives and technology and perception that I feel like there's a story we can tell here. Yeah, because think about how great the Matrix was in 1999. Now we live in an era where technology has taken over us in ways that in 1999 no one could have foresaw. So it can get real. If it blew our minds then, it can go some things. So I'm excited. But at this point, it's just all speculation. So, but
that's what we're here for.
Yeah, but if Michael B. Jordan is going to be part of, I'm going to call it the fourth Matrix. One they call it the fourth Matrix, and it's about the fourth Matrix.
Oh, that'd be good. That'd be real good. Yes.
Man, copyright. Man, we be giving these people gold.
TM.
This will be one of the few ones that I'll be okay with.
Oh, yeah.
But that's it. So, the fourth Matrix, Neo, the one, maybe Michael B. Jordan, we don't know. And, loot boxes
and science and Pokemon.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining us for another exciting episode of Full Circle. We're still working on getting some more guests, so we're going to fill up that schedule and introduce you to some more industry people. As always, follow me at Harmon Jr.
And follow me at Jared Fradette at Toonvelo.
All right. And have a great week, everybody.